Doesn't want to play today?
Well, that was from meetings earlier.
Oh, okay.
We had Narcan training.
Can we turn those off?
Yeah, you can shut them off. We had a couple of them.
Thanks, Nancy.
You're up.
All right, Ed's here. We can go ahead and get started. Hello, Ed. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. And for the first item of business, we'll go ahead and ask Commissioner Huff to swear in our new member.
Mr. Ward, come on up.
Let's do it right over here by the flag. How's that? That way, I think we can still see you on camera from over here, can't we, Nancy? Or we need to be a little more this way?
He's on there, or he will be, but come more this way.
There we go.
I'll hide in the corner.
Okay, you just need to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Stuart Ward,
I, Stuart Ward,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of this state,
and the Constitution and laws of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of this office,
the office of Planning and Development Council Member,
the office of Planning and Development Council Member,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, sir.
Signature.
Welcome aboard.
Let him go ahead and sign. You can sign.
Your stuff now.
Yep. Ask Wade how hard it is to get out of this.
Don't ask Wade, he's not a good example.
For how long?
However long we take.
You know that signature just put you down for a new mortgage, so you're good.
So, we'll go ahead and turn it over to the board and let you go ahead and tell us what went
Our
on.
new chairman is right here.
I read that.
Just so I didn't know I had a prepared speech. Yeah, we're excited. It's the first time I knew Stuart was coming on board, so we're excited. I think we've had a great run the last, year? How long have I been doing this now? 5 years now?
2?
Yeah, I think it's been very good. I think it's been very successful. We've seen a lot of, a variety of different things, and I think this group that we've had has been fantastic. Everybody brings something to the table that has really, I think, complemented Hal and his team, and again, they are phenomenal. I've never seen everything as organized and put together as well as this team has done, so.
Good, good. Thank you. Other board members, comments?
I can echo that. This is a good group. It's been a good group. I think that the office, the planning and development, they're great. They do try to help the citizens of the county accomplish what they would like to accomplish within the scope of the ordinance, right? And they seem to be helpful. Sometimes government gets in the way to say no, and I don't sense that as much or at all with this group. So they truly try hard to look at the ordinance. As you know, the ordinance isn't perfect. It's got some problems. It's like grandma's kitchen, addition, and bathroom remodel all in one place. You just have to know where the spots are. And so I think we're all looking forward to the rewrite of it all, so it can all work together, because there's some places where it just fights itself, and it needs to be updated to fit where we're at today. So we've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, when the interest rates went up, everything kind of slowed up, right, Hal? I mean, but man, we've been cooking. As you see the statistical report, we've went through a lot of stuff, and we get a lot of that comes to you after we've worked our way through the part of that and get it to you. So anyway, it's been good. Barbara?
I couldn't say exactly the same thing. This staff has been phenomenal to work with. I've done a lot of government type of stuff, and they're really great. And on top of it, I couldn't say enough good about them. And then the board has been really good, the council, to work with.
Well, I want to thank the council. I mean, non-paid positions and people willing to volunteer to step forward and make sure that lives, government, lifestyles move forward in a positive direction. It's getting tougher and tougher. I mean, we've been to Downey, Lava, and McCann and had community meetings. ambulances are almost impossible to get anybody to come and volunteer to be on an ambulance and stuff anymore. And that's what I say. We put out notices for different boards, and some people that want to be on a board have a specific agenda, but to have people that want to come forward and do what's good for the community. Thank you from the commission, from Bannock County. Thank you very, very much for your service. Al?
Before Wade is gone, I just need to express my thanks to him for his service. It's been great. And welcome, Stuart. And thank Ed and Barbara. This has been a council that has really worked diligently on every item that's placed before them. And their deliberations are, I don't know if you get a chance to observe, read, etc. You probably don't get those minutes forwarded to you.
The only thing we read is the one that's coming for an appeal.
That makes it to you.
John's been able to see it recently.
Yeah, but, having been here now for just about 4 years and working with different people, this has been an exceptional council. Wade will be greatly missed. Stuart has some big shoes to fill. Ed is now the chair. Not to put any undue pressure on Ed, big shoes to fill. He does a great job with his deliberations. One of the things that I would like to express while we're in this meeting is that Ed has taken it upon himself some time ago that when things were more passionate in a meeting, he would say, before we go to deliberation, we just want to let you know we appreciate your passions and your emotions and your feelings, but we don't deliberate on passions, feelings, and emotions. We deliberate on the rules of the law. And so we don't mean to offend if we don't address these things, but those are not items that we address. So thank you for your input. Let's go. And most of the time, it pretty well places people at ease so that the people that are in the meeting for the public hearing listen to them deliberate. They know that they're not being ignored intentionally. They're being the items that need to be discussed are the items that are pertinent to the rule of law. And we thank Ed for that clarity in those meetings. We may need to have conversation with another member to express that when we're in meetings, so that depending on what and how big and how heated it potentially can be. But anyway, I think everybody here, Marge and the planning staff, are happy with the things that we do, the work that we do, the success that we experience, and the opportunity to serve the patrons of Bannock County. Council is very critical to that experience for the people that are on the other side of the counter. So, but thank you, all of you, and my staff, our staff, the group, the crew, whatever.
We appreciate all of you. Other comments?
We have a report that was placed in front of you. I will turn the time to Tristan, and she will walk through this. She's been with me before at this meeting, and she's always prepared it. Now it's her opportunity to do a presentation. How's that?
So I forwarded for your review 2021's Planning and Development Council year in review and 2022, so that you could compare them side by side. So we had this last year, we had a couple of work sessions. We updated the council bylaws, which you guys got to see and review and approve those. We've done a little bit of council training and some ordinance, a couple of ordinance work sessions. We're planning in 2023 to do even more ordinance work sessions. As you know, we have a goal to have a new land use and development ordinance in 2024. So I also attached the council meeting attendance just as one of your, so that you guys are aware of who's attending the meetings when and how attendance is going throughout the year. And then I also have just permits for 2020, 21, and 22, so that you can review the changes in those as well. Otherwise, do you have any questions about anything specifically that's in those reports? Or in the future, is there something additional that you want to see? These are just reports that have always been submitted to you during this review. When I started, it kind of happened that I became the person to do it, and I've just never stopped doing it. But I've also never asked if there's anything else you guys want to see, so.
Commission?
No, I like this. I was reading through it and thought, man, you guys have been busy, very busy. So, no, I like it, so thank you.
Like I say, we have a few appeals that have come to us, and I appreciate just being able to go through and look at what went on, read the minutes, and then and the decision's the decision, just like you said. Here's the ordinances, or here's the rules. You meet the rules, good for you. You don't meet the rules, is there anything we can do to help you, but not break any rules? I mean, that's it. It is black and white, but like you say, emotions get involved. We're meeting Thursday, I think, on one of them. But we appreciate the efforts and the work that your staff does and that you do, and when it comes to us, it makes our job a lot better, a lot easier. It's never fun to tell somebody no, but that's why they're there. That's why the plans are there. And we appreciate you going through and looking at the ordinances. And if they need to be changed or reevaluated, some of them were how old? I mean, some of them were pretty old. There's a lot of things that have happened in our country and our county that we want to bring up to date.
How old is our addressing ordinance?
1985.
When?
85.
1985. So that's another one that is as part of the packet that we're continuing to go through, so that everything that is currently an ordinance is worked and compiled and it makes sense. Because that ordinance right now doesn't make sense in many, many ways, and particular things that are requirements that just don't get done. And anyway.
I like that requirement where we're required to have something faxed to us.
Yeah.
It's in there.
You want to talk about fax machines?
Don't even get me started.
It'll get him going.
Don't get me started.
Get a ringtone on my phone of a fax machine squealing, so that whenever Hal calls me
One item, just so that the commission is aware of, and I think I have brought this to your attention before. I want to say 3 meetings ago, there was a conversation or a comment made by someone that was presenting in the meeting, and they said, well, we don't even know why we're here because it was told to us that the decision was already made. That had a little bit of a sting to me, because we don't function that way. But I want to clarify that when people have a fair amount of money on the line in an application, whether it's $700, $800, $1,200, depending on what it is that they are applying for, I want to be as helpful and considerate to those people as possible. We're not going to advance anything through our office to the council for deliberation that, for all intents and purposes, based upon our review, does not meet the intent of the ordinance. If it doesn't meet the intent of the ordinance, we're not going to move it forward until we have the opportunity to clarify and make sure that every T is crossed and every I is dotted. So that if there are deliberations that occur in a council meeting, they're potentially fleshed out because it may be an oversight on our part. But for the most part, we don't function that way. We don't tell people that, oh yeah, this is a done deal, whatever the accusation or the appearance might be. Our office has tried to develop a culture of service, and part of that service is not to waste people's money. And so therefore, that's why it had a little bit of a sting to me on a personal level of feeling somewhat accused. But all in all, staff does a great job, and so does council, and we are happy to be serving the patrons of Bannock County.
Well, I can tell you that anybody that is involved in any type of government function, if there's a yes and a no on one side or the other generally. And if the person is being told no, there's a reason. And it's because you're biased or there's already a decision made, because you're good friends. I mean, we get hit with that almost every decision that we make. People, if we don't agree with them, there's a reason why, and it's usually us. So that's why I say thank you very, very much for your willingness to serve and to make them tough decisions. Personal property rights are very valuable. Always will be. Same with paying taxes. I mean, we all pay taxes. We all want things better, cheaper, but we all want the services that we get. I mean, just look at the south end of the county and the snow that's been down there and the roads that are being plowed, and it doesn't come easy and it doesn't come cheap. Commissioner Huff was telling me about an individual that stuck at their house and they sent search. Go ahead.
Yeah, search and rescue went to get them out of their house, got stuck. Road and Bridge happened to be in the area with the grader, went to get search and rescue out, got stuck.
With the grader?
Yeah, with the grader. And so then they end up, Bob, the snow groomer, happened to be in the area. He went in and was able to get everybody out finally. So.
Doesn't surprise me.
So service, everybody wants it and everybody needs it. Thank you for yours. Any other comments?
Just a quick, Stuart is now a new member and he's asked to be excused from his meeting this month already.
See, I did that last meeting.
And I'm just saying, yes, you were on camera. We're still on camera. This is an official meeting.
The reason being is that he had a previous business commitment, and so it worked out fortunately for us that he would be in place that still allows us the number of 5 and to have our quorum in place depending on who can attend and who can't. So we're excited to have him, very much so.
I just have one last question for everybody real quick, except for Stuart. What one piece of advice would you give Stuart as the new member from your years of service? What one piece of advice would you give him as he embarks on this new journey?
The biggest one I'd say is when we have these hearings, when we get a large crowd of people that are there to either oppose it or not to get emotional, because you have to understand right up front that half the people are going to probably walk out of there upset with you, and half the people are going to think you're awesome. And we try to keep it as impersonal as possible just because of that reason. But I've had people corner me at Bishrats or somewhere else and tell me what a dirtbag I am, but at the same time, it's kind of how it is. And I try to keep the emotion as out of it as I can and not take things personal, because, you know, even those that are not happy with a yes decision or a no decision, they all have some kind of skin in the game, and that's why they're upset or happy, right? So I think try to just keep our heads on straight. And I think this team, this group's done really good, because we've had 2 hearings ago, we had some, and Tristan kept her cool and asked everybody to keep it down, but I mean, there's some nasty stuff that was being said. We just kept moving forward, and that's just keep your head on, that's all.
And the takeaway from that, Stuart, is to stay out of Bishrats.
Yeah, especially in the dark. Okay, my best advice, I think people need to feel they need to be genuinely listened to. If people, even if you don't agree with them, if they feel like you've heard them and understood what they're saying, at the end of the day, most of the time most people that are reasonable will say, okay, they listen. And then they base their decision on that. But I think people have a need to say their piece. If they feel ignored, they get louder. But if they genuinely are listened to, well, I think that's a key thing. And we get to in this country, ARPs in good ways. Some people are better at it than others. Sometimes it looks like they threw up all of themselves, right? But, and it's ugly, right? But most of the time, if they can just get it out, and you watch it in the meetings, they'll kind of settle down, right? I mean, it's like, I got to say my piece. So, I think people deserve that. So, when you help them, I think it helps them, helps therapeutic. So, that's my best. And I would hope that they would get you at my best. I think they bring you these little bottles of water there. I don't know what it is. They should get bigger bottles. Yeah, you already figured it out.
Bring
Right?
my own water.
The county budget is small on water, I'm just saying, but the round is over now. I don't know.
I wanted to mention those
Chips.
treats you have. 2 years expired.
We weren't aware they were that expired.
Oh, so they knew they were expired, just not, that expired, okay.
Yeah, she's like, oh, they've been in the corner for 6 months. No, they expired in 21. 4 months, 6 months.
Sorry. I'll try to get better snacks.
Now you know why it said special buy.
That's why they were on sale.
So my piece of advice on top of what both of them said would be to ask a question, even if it's of one of the public talking, because sometimes it ferrets out a situation that the reason they're upset isn't even about reason any longer. So it really helps to ask a question. If you don't, making sure you heard it right or understood exactly the point they're trying to make, I think that really helps them as well. At the end of the day, the law is what it is, as Hal said. I mean, we're following the law. And if you can get their point to where they understand how that fits into the law, it just makes a better experience for everyone.
That's good. Thank you.
Marjorie, we're listening for your wisdom here. What's your wisdom for this group? I haven't had her in front of me to present for a long time. I didn't mean to embarrass you, but maybe I did.
Yeah.
Clearly and loud.
Thank you, Rob. We'll work on the clear part for you.
Anything else?
Jimmy? He'll get it all later.
I already talked to him about my phone call earlier.
Okay.
All right. Commission?
I've had a couple of meetings with you, the staff here recently, and I just wanted to thank you for your openness and helping me understand the processes and the things you do in your office. It's much appreciated, and I learned a lot awful fast. There's a lot more to learn, but it's clear to me that you're very much willing to help me understand what you're all doing, and I appreciate that greatly.
Thank you.
Well, if there's nothing else, then we are adjourned. Thank you all very much.